Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Titan del 86. Here you will find everything from your favorite characters, from anime, series, or movies, such as figures, statues, trading cards, and other limited special edition items. I will show you everything that is included. For example, we will discuss the design of the box, how it's packaged, the design of the figure, the articulation points, the accessories that are included, and we will see our favorite characters in special scenes. And you never know, you might see other characters make special guest appearances, so you can decide whether it's worth getting or not. Subscribe and join me on new weekly adventures. Now let's start the show. Let's go. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. My name is Titan del 86 and today from Pokemon Center, I present to you the Team Rocket Pokemon case. This special Team Rocket case was released as part of the Glory of Team Rocket, which is the new Pokemon booster packs that were released over at Japan. So basically what Pokemon Center did is they created a bunch of stuff specifically with Team Rocket themes. So one of them was this Pokemon briefcase. So this is how the box comes in. The idea of the briefcase is for the Pokemon player to basically use it in the tournaments by storing their Pokemon cards, including the decks that they're going to be using at the tournament, their backup cards, damage counters, play mats, and all the other stuff that you can think of that is needed in a Pokemon battle, including damage counters, the dice, and everything is included. So that is basically the premise behind this Pokemon case. Among other things that were released Team Rocket theme, you had several stuff that was Pokemon related. For example, they had shirts, business ties, and so forth. The list just goes on and on. They basically took the Team Rocket theme and applied it to whatever you can think of. There's a Team Rocket version out there for it. So that's basically what the big emphasis is behind this Team Rocket case. There was a briefcase that was released several years ago, which now if you're able to find that for sale, basically the cost for that is astronomically expensive. So I think this is basically a revival of that, which is what the speculation is, right? This is the next must-have thing that is coming out of Pokemon Center. That is every collector's dream. So let's check out what this Pokemon briefcase is all about. Upon removing the briefcase from the box, this is basically it. It comes wrapped up in a plastic bag, and here you have it. It's basically a regular sized briefcase. Design wise, it is very plain. There's really nothing there for it other than the giant R in the front. Every other corner is basically blank. At the top side, the handle to hold the briefcase. So right immediately at the front, you have the giant red letter R. And hopefully the light can capture it, but when the light hits it directly, it's got like a little sparkle tone to it. So it makes it look nice and fancy. If you like what you're seeing, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and share the video. Let me know in the comments what you're thinking of this briefcase. And honestly, I gotta give it up to Pokemon Center. They did really good on their advertisement, and like I mentioned, people are expecting this to be the next big thing coming out of Pokemon Center in regards to the briefcase, like the one that was released previously. That today goes for a lot of money, so this kinda gives the hype over to this briefcase as they're revisiting that concept. So overall, the case looks really nice. I think it was available around 2015, 2016 time frame. Looking at the stock photos of it, because obviously I never got to see it in person, it looks like they follow similar styles on it. So you can see it still got the metal frame border around it. The handle looks a little bit similar. The biggest difference that really sticks out is the R in the center. As you see in the original suitcase, the R is super huge compared to the one that we have here on this new briefcase. The other thing that's different, and it's a little bit difficult to tell, is whether that was a metal plaque stuck to the briefcase or if it was just like a vinyl sheet that was placed on there. So because of that, I'm not able to tell how the R would have been compared to the one that we have here. On the new briefcase, the corners are more rounded in a circular fashion, where on this old one, it was more square, meaning it had more sharp edges. So those are some huge differences between 2016 briefcase versus this new one in 2025. Let me know in the comments what are your opinion between the two briefcases. Do you like the new one better, or do you still prefer the original one that came out? Let me know in the comments which briefcase looks better, the new one or the original one. The briefcase looks really nice. The design is not crazily overkill. It doesn't fully scream Pokemon unless you're familiar with the giant R, which is Team Rocket's logo. Other than that, the briefcase looks really good. There's nothing really special about it, so it's very similar to a suitcase. Obviously, I don't think this briefcase can survive a heavy beating on it. I have a feeling that it might fall apart after several uses if you're very abusive to it. But other than that, it looks like a typical briefcase that you would normally get from the store. It has a decent sized weight, so this is a big one. Obviously, if you're getting the ship from Japan, which is the only place that Pokemon Center released it to, it's going to cost you some money just to get it shipped overseas. So in case you didn't realize, this was only available in Pokemon Center Japan through a lottery sale. Only living in Japan, you had access to purchase this briefcase directly from Pokemon Center. I think elsewhere you probably have to get it from secondhand for someone that has access to it and is able to sell it. I left the protective piece on the handle so you can just see it. The handle is made out of plastics. Follow me on IG at Titandelo86. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts on this Team Rocket case in celebration of the glory of Team Rocket. Overall, the briefcase is really nice, so let me give you some close-up shots just so you can see what they have done for this particular briefcase.
なぜです。たかが小僧一人放っておけばよろしいのでは。たかが小僧ではない。私の神経に触る生意気な小僧だ。
Here's a close shot of the four corners so you can see how the briefcase is reinforced. So you can see the reinforcement in the corners, along the perimeter. Now here's the edge, so you can see that every edge has a metal lining there, so you can see some of the bolts. Here's a close-up of the giant R, just so you can see the details in the paint job and how it shines when the light hits it. So it looks really classy. This is what gives the briefcase the classy look. That makes it look very attractive and appealing. So here you can see the border. So the main border basically has a metal structure reinforcement just to keep all the different faces of the briefcase together. Here's the top close-up of the handles, so you can see the two locking mechanisms along with the handle. The handle is made out of plastic. So here it is without the protective piece, just so you can see it. So here's the bottom side of it with the bumper guards to avoid putting scuff marks on the base. Here's a bottom view of it. Looking at the inside of the briefcase of the original one, it looked like the top lid had an inner foam pad. At the main base, it was two more foam pads where the two mega red cards sit along with the Team Rocket golden coin. So I wonder how that's going to be different with this one, or if they're going to follow the same strategy. On this new briefcase, one of the biggest hypes is the possibility of it having some very exclusive rare cards. Now let's take a look at the briefcase and see what the contents inside. Hopefully you're excited as I am, so let's check it out. 1, 2, 3, let's go. And there it is. Looking at it, you have several compartments. There you can see the booster pack box that comes with the briefcase. If you like what you're seeing, don't forget to leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and share the video. Here's a close-up of the different compartments. The first compartment here, I guess you could put the playmat. It's got a little tab there. Then it's got this little container here on the side. Then here's the other jewel besides the briefcase that comes with it, which is the Pokemon booster packs. Here's a leather pouch to store some stuff in it. Then it's got a pocket. Hopefully you can catch it there. Follow me on IG at Titandelo86. Overall, it's really thin. Then it's got a clear case in there. So for the little leather pocket, you can see that the leather is very thin. And it closes by Velcro. Here's the second compartment. So in this one, it's like a little box there. You can see there. And obviously the compartments that you see in here, they're not removable. So you won't be able to take them out and customize how you want to store it in the briefcase. Or if you have plans of using this briefcase other than what it's intended for, you will not be able to do that. As you can see, this is all what you get for it within this briefcase. So here's a close-up so you can see the foam material. The plastic piece is basically a divider. You have metal material separating the segments there. Other than that, it's basically a bunch of foam pieces in there.
It won't be long now.
So now that we're done looking at the briefcase from Team Rocket, so now let's look at the Pokemon cards that I got here. So this is how the Team Rocket booster pack box is presented to you. So as you can see, it's got Giovanni there, it's got Arbok, Mewtwo, and a couple other Team Rocket folks in there, as well as some other Pokemon that they're notoriously known for using, especially if you play the video games a lot. So looking at it from the front, this basically tells you that it comes with 5 cards per booster pack, and here you have another close-up shot. Rotating it from the side, you have a picture of Growlithe, Nidoqueen, and Meowth. Back end is the same thing as the front end. Then it's got some more Pokemon here on the side. Obviously, to me, the main goal here is to get that Giovanni's Nidoking, which I think is pretty amazing based on what I've seen. And obviously the Mewtwo as well. But let's see what we get. Hopefully I get lucky and I get some good pulls. So one thing different between the Japanese booster packs versus the North American booster packs is that on these you basically get 5 cards per booster pack, where I think on the North American ones you get 10 or 11. I can't remember. I think it's 10 with 1 guaranteed to be a rare or better and an energy card. If you like what you're seeing, don't forget to leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and share the video. So here's basically what the booster pack looks like, which is basically the same image that we saw from the top of the box. So there you have Giovanni again, and you have the poison type Pokemon along with other Team Rocket members. Overall, I really like the design of the blister pack. It looks pretty cool actually. I know they did some good ones back then, but to me this is one of the better looking ones. So now let's check out what came out of these booster packs from the Pokemon collection of the Gloria Team Rocket. So for me, out of this collection, just looking at it, the ones that are in my to get list, I really want to get the Nidoking and the Nidoqueen evolution lines. I think that Nidoqueen card looks really amazing. Other cards that stick out to me that I would like to have is obviously the Nidoking. But if I take it back to the must-haves that I really want to get out of this booster packs, is basically Team Rocket's Houndoom. That's one that I would like to have. Thinking about it, I like the Team Rocket's Orf Beetle. The Team Rockets will buff it. I'm also want to get the Team Rockets Raticate, Team Rockets Meowth, and I don't really care too much for the EX cards. I never found them attractive, even when they first came out back in the day. So that's just my personal opinion on the EX cards. But as far as the trainer cards, the one that I really want to get is the Rockets Giovanni, along with Team Rockets Moltres, the Mewtwo, especially the Nidoking. If I can get the Nidoking, that would be a huge win. But let's see what we're getting here. And as you can see, so far I'm striking out. Follow me on IG at Titandel86. There's the Nidoking, not the one I'm looking for though. If you like what you're seeing, don't forget to leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and share the video. Doesn't look bad though. I always like Nidoking. Nidoking has always been one of my top Pokemon. Going into all these booster packs, in case you weren't aware of, one of the key differences between Japan's release versus North American's release is the booster packs from Japan usually only feature 1 expansion, and they always include 5 cards within the booster pack. Where in North America they feature, I think it's 10 cards or 11, and the 11th card is always an energy card. But what they do there is they combine 2 expansions. So I know for Japan, this one we're calling it the Gloria Team Rocket, but the North American variant, they're calling it Destined Rivals. So right off the bat, you can tell that the Japanese set has a better name. It has a way better theme to go with it. And not only did they back up the Pokemon release set, but they also backed it up with other accessories that extend beyond the trading card game. For example, the briefcase that we just reviewed. For example, they released a lot of Pokemon accessories that you could use. For example, the playmats, the card holders, the dividers. They also released some stuff that you could use for the office. Other examples include tails, a bunch of shirts, which they look really amazing, honestly. If I am able to, I do plan on getting all of them. They look really nice, and hopefully I can catch at least one of them in the future, but fingers crossed. And other stuff that was Team Rocket themed to basically wrap up the whole series of how they're strategizing the release and celebration of Team Rocket. Here, as you can see, I'm not really getting some of the cards that I was hoping to get. But that's the thing with these booster packs. Every time I open these, I feel like I'm playing the lottery. Every once in a while, you get a winner. But among all the packs, you're basically going to get a bunch of stuff that is either duplicated or it's not what you're looking for. Especially the cards that I mentioned that I'm after. Those are really difficult to get. My hopes of finding the ones that I really want are slim to none. For that to happen, basically the whole solar system has to realign again and allow me to draw the cards that I'm looking for. But the odds of that happening are slim to none. So obviously on these I don't really have high hopes on them. I think it's 30 booster packs that are coming here, but with 5 each, the odds of getting it are not that great. I know in Pokemon Center for the North American variant, when they announced these Team Rocket booster packs, Pokemon Center basically shut down. I know they implemented this new technique where they kind of create like a line or a virtual line for you to stand there and eventually say, oh, until it's your turn, you'll get access to the website. Until then, you're just stuck with the Pikachu that's basically saying that it's out of commission. And honestly, to me, that doesn't work because I tried sitting in that waiting room, but one thing that I noticed is that it refreshes automatically and it basically resets you back to the end of the line. To me, that has become really frustrated, especially with a lot of scalpers that are around these Pokemon cards. I know they're in there with their bots and ordering hundreds and hundreds of these booster packs just so they can sell them online on eBay and other stuff later and charge probably 2 to 10 times more of the price than what is really worth it. Really, it kind of takes the joy out of collecting these cards. Obviously, as long as there's someone willing to buy it from them, obviously they're going to keep doing it. Let me know what are your thoughts on Pokemon Center trying to do that. Honestly, I think maybe they should just do like a lottery sale where you register for the item that you want and then you'll get that email if you are chosen by them at random. I think that will really help, and they'll give you like a time frame or a time window to allow you to go into the website and put that item in your cart and then check out. I think that's one way that maybe they can police it better. This waiting in lobby stuff, to me, I don't think that's working because I think they're still scalping the crap out of it. Let me know in the comments what are your thoughts. Alright, here's a good one. You got a Houndoom and then you got a Eradicates. So this one was actually on my to get list. So that's pretty cool that I got this one. Still not the main one that I'm after though. In regards to the briefcase, obviously this was the main attraction that attracted me to it for this particular Pokemon set of the Gloria of Team Rocket. And to me, that was one of the things that kind of make the case appealing because it was checking 2 of the items that I wanted, which was the briefcase, and I also wanted a shot at these Pokemon booster packs that you're seeing here. Obviously, to me, really, they're both somewhat of a miss. As you see, I'm not getting good pulls out of it, and the suitcase wasn't really as good as I was hoping it would be, just based on how it was presented and how it was advertised. One of the things I would have found this to be a lot better as far as the briefcase goes is maybe if they would include maybe 3 exclusive Pokemon cards that are not available anywhere else except for you buying the briefcase, similar to what they did back then. If you remember, in the original briefcase released for Team Rocket, they included, I think it was 2 cards that are now mega rare, unattainable, that were only released for that particular briefcase. If you look at it, the graphics look really nice and everything, and obviously not everybody was able to get their hands on. So if you are able to find this briefcase from back then, good luck, because it's going to cost you an arm and a leg and you probably have to give away your kidney. But as far as this briefcase goes, I think only time will tell us if it grows in value or if it just becomes a dud, to which it's looking like based on my opinion, based on what I'm seeing and based on what the prices of it selling in the market are going for. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. Do you think the briefcase is really worth it? Is this a briefcase that you think is going to gain value over time and it's going to become something that is going to be sought after? Or if it's just going to be something that will be forgotten like everything else? If you like what you're seeing, don't forget to leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and share the video. One thing that I'm noticing about these Pokemon cards as we're going through this booster pack, opening them, notice how the name changed. In this special collection, they're called Team Rockets or Rockets, and then it's the Pokemon's name, where in the original expansion, all the Pokemon that were Team Rocket, they were all dark. They had dark within the name, and then the Pokemon, they kind of had like a darker evil tone to them, and I think that kind of got lost within this particular expansion of Team Rocket's Legacy, because all the Pokemon, they look like regular Pokemon. It doesn't give you any feeling of the darkness or the mischievous or the evil within the Pokemon, and they probably went away from that because now you have the dark type Pokemon, which didn't exist back then. So I think that's one of the reasons, just to avoid confusion of calling every Pokemon a dark type, even if it's a fire type, a water type, a fairy type. And then I think it's the other one of giving Pokemon an image of being friendly, even though they're Team Rockets Pokemon, where before they kind of had that mean dark presence to them, just to show that they weren't good Pokemon. They were mischievous just like their owners. I think maybe that had to do a little bit with the imaging of the brand, especially of each individual Pokemon, because you remember from the original ones, from the original Team Rocket Pokemon, they all had dark in their name and they all look like evil counterparts of the ones that we're used to seeing. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts on that particular detail between this special Team Rocket run versus the original one. And here you can see I got a cool Persian, but honestly to me the real Team Rocket Persian is this one. Hopefully I already have it in my collection. I did buy several booster packs and a booster box for the Pokemon 151 collection, and I also still have the Pokemon Go. So those are two special sets that I haven't shared with you. I still have them in their boxes, so hopefully at some point I'll get time so I can go in there and do the review similar to what you're seeing here of Pokemon cards out of the booster packs, and hopefully I get some decent cards out of there. But honestly, I almost never have good luck with these types of things, and you can kind of see it here. I'm not getting the best of the best cards. I think these are basically 30 booster packs with 5 cards a piece, so you can kind of see where your odds are every time I open one of these. Let me know in the comments what your thoughts. Follow me on IG at Titandel86. So one of the biggest things of why I really like this Giovanni in Persian trainer card is because not only is it a full art, but it was done in a style that reminds you of a painting, especially like when people take those family portraits, or like, you know, someone's like the big tough guy or the big mob boss, and when you go into his office he's got a big picture of him right behind him. So that's kind of what this one reminds me, and just tells you how very powerful Giovanni really is, and it just shows you the relationship of Persian as well, of how that is his top cat. The Giovanni Charisma card is also another one that I also like. Hopefully at some point I do get it, and that one it shows a little bit more of how Persian feels about Giovanni. So there you can see Persian basically relaxed and happy, just being by Giovanni's side. I'm pretty sure Meowth is really angry and really jealous. If you remember from the Pokemon series, Meowth wanted to be the top cat, but for some reason he couldn't outshine Persian. If you like what you're seeing, don't forget to leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and share the video. So overall the case is not as good as I was expecting it to be. Honestly, I was thinking you were going to be able to customize it. You wouldn't be locked down to certain positions or certain sections that were pre-made for you. I thought you would be able to customize it, and I think I was expecting it to be a little bit more fancy on the inside, other than the foam padding that you're seeing here. To me, honestly, it doesn't meet the expectation. I like the view of the outside. It looks all nice and elegant, but I think that stuff goes out the window once you really open it up and get inside of it. You're not getting too much out of it. And based on the quality that I'm seeing here of how it's built and all that put together, if you're really going to use it for Pokemon tournaments, I hope you go easy on it, because I really don't see this lasting in the long run. I have a feeling with continuous wear and usage, you might get, best of luck, maybe 2 or 3 tournaments of action out of it before the suitcase starts to wear down and starts to show wear and tear. That is just my opinion looking at the materials that are being used here. So honestly, the biggest question here is the briefcase really worth what they're asking for? So that question has 2 answers that we got to think about. First one, if you get it from Pokemon Center and you're paying the actual retail price of it, then is it worth it? I say yes. But if you're getting it from secondhand, which I'm pretty sure almost everyone is going to do that is outside of Japan or doesn't have direct access to the Pokemon Center site through the lottery sales, then depending on how much the scalper price or that secondhand person is going to charge you, then that determines whether this is really worth it or not. Honestly, looking at it, I would say if you pay the actual retail price for it, I would say it's probably worth it. But if you're paying the scalper prices, I say stay out of it. This is not going to be worth it. I think you're going to left with a huge disappointment taste in your mouth. And I say that because the materials that is being used on the case and all that is not going to back up the amount of money that the scalper is going to charge you for. I think I've seen most of these. If I remember correctly, Pokemon Center had it for sale, I'm going to say about $100 if I remember correctly. So you can kind of see this is what $100 really gets you. But I think the scalping price right now, or what everybody else is selling it for, is $300 onwards, which to me, that is not worth it. But other than that, for what the concept is and all that, I think they did a nice job on it. I just think that the scalping price is going to be what throws this off, to make it basically a not obtainable item. And if you're able to obtain it, obviously you're not going to feel like you got your money's worth. As far as the briefcase goes, I guess Team Rocket striked again. Let me know in the comments, is this briefcase really worth it to be in your collection?
Maybe I could have just one more battle to test out my most powerful Pokemon.
Here's an overview of all the ones that I liked. I was able to complete a couple evolution lines, which is pretty cool. But other than that, I mean, this is basically it, based on what I was able to pull. If you like what you're seeing, don't forget to leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and share the video. I was able to pull both the Nidoking and the Nidoqueen evolution lines. Like I said, pulling booster packs from Pokemon is almost like trying to hit the lottery, especially when you're after the super rare cards. So overall, just thinking in general of the booster packs that came with this particular set and the briefcase and all that, honestly, it seems like Team Rocket actually got away with it this time. This is all I have for you today. If you like what you have seen, don't forget to leave your like, subscribe to the channel, share the video, and I'll see you next week with a brand new one. Thank you and bye.
I suppose this means that we blew it again.
We blew it again. We blew it sky high.
And what goes up must always come down.
Looks like Team Rocket's blasting off again.